welcome our first speaker of this webinar, Professor Dr. Hussein Gupchekus. Professor Dr. Hussein Gupchekus completed his undergraduate studies in geological engineering at Ankara University in 1982. In the same year, he started a master's degree at Ankara University, and after finishing his courses, he completed his thesis in hydrology under the supervision of Professor Dr. Vadat Dorian from Middle East Technical University, METU, in 1984. He worked as a research assistant in Geological Engineering Department, METU, Ankara, between 1982 and 1990. In 1990, he completed his thesis titled Hydrological and Hydrogeochemical Evaluation of the Guzelut Groundwater Basin, Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, and obtained his PhD degree in hydrology from METU. Throughout his career, he has achieved various academic achievements at Near East University. He was appointed as the General Coordinator of Water in the TRNC Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resource Project, Water Transfer from Turkey to TRNC project. He has organized many national and international symposiums and conferences. He is also an editor and member of editorial boards of several international journals. Among his accomplishments, he has received numerous awards, including Near East University Scientific Research Award 2009, 2010, 2018, 2020, and 2021, NEU Scientific Research Honor Award 2019, etc. His research areas are related to water resources, climate change, sustainability, smart cities, and clean energy. Along with him, we have another speaker who will be presenting in this webinar, Dr. Yusuf Qasim. Dr. Yusuf Qasim has earned his BSc and MSc degree in Mechanical Engineering from Near East University, TRNC, in 2009 and 2011, respectively.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. I would like to say welcome you all to our webinar named as Smart Cities and Sustainable Development Goals, Challenges and Opportunities. Special thanks to my colleagues, Professor Dr. Wahid Nurani, Professor Dr. Sameh Kontaj, Professor Dr. Ashkın Kiraz, Associate Prof. Dr. Yusuf Qasim, Assistant Prof. Dr. Mustafa Alas, and my PhD students, Farhat Baluri, for their participation and contribution. Today, I will talk about the renewable energy integration in smart cities towards SDG 7 and SDG 13. This material prepared by my dear colleague, Associate Prof. Dr. Yusuf Qasim, and by me. This is our content. I am planning to start with a simple introduction. Later on, renewable energy systems, solar energy, wind energy, and summary. The relationship between renewable energy and smart cities is pivotal in shaping sustainable and resilient urban environments. Smart cities leverage advanced technologies to optimize resource utilization, enhance efficiency, and improve the overall quality of life for their residents. Renewable energy, encompassing sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power, plays a central role in the transition to smart urban landscapes. Smart cities leverage advanced technologies to optimize resource utilization, enhance efficiency, and improve the overall quality of life for their residents. The energy system stands as a pivotal and central component among the key elements of smart city, driving the transition towards a sustainable urban lifestyle. Emphasizing the use of renewable energy sources has proven to be substantial strides in curbing pollutant emissions and elevating the overall quality of the living environment. Integration of renewable energy in smart cities contributes to the reduction of carbon footprints and mitigates the environmental impact of conventional energy sources. Decentralized renewable energy systems, such as solar panels and wind turbines, provide cities with clean and local generated power, reducing dependence on centralized grids and fossil fuels. This decentralized approach enhances energy security and resilience by diversifying the energy mix and mitigating vulnerabilities associated with centralized power generation. As urban areas seek to achieve Sustainable Development Goals 7 and 13, the pursuit involves creating an integrated energy ecosystem enriched by the integration of renewable energy systems such as photovoltaic and wind technologies. This strategic integration is poised to be a transformative approach, aligning with the goals of ensuring access to affordable and clean energy while significantly contributing to climate action within urban landscape. This is the figure showed us the integration of renewable energy systems such as photovoltaic and wind technologies. Let's talk about the solar energy. Solar energy utilization in urban cities involves harnessing the power of sunlight to generate clean and sustainable electricity within the urban landscape. The deployment of solar PV arrays on rooftops and within urban spaces involve strategically installing photovoltaic systems on building rooftops, facades, and other available urban surfaces to harness solar energy for electricity generation. This decentralized approach allows cities to capitalize on underutilized spaces and leverage renewable resources within their immediate environment. Through the installation of solar panels, urban areas can generate clean and sustainable electricity locally, reducing reliance on centralized power grids and non-renewable energy sources. The process typically includes the placement of solar panels on structures, integration with building systems, and connection to the electrical grid or energy storage solution. This initiative not only promotes energy independence and resilience, but also aligns with sustainable urban development goals by transforming cities into hubs for eco-friendly energy production. By utilizing urban spaces for solar PV deployment, communities can contribute to mitigating climate change, fostering a low carbon economy, and achieving sustainable development goals related to clean energy and climate action. Let's talk about wind energy now. Harnessing wind as an energy source dates back centuries, utilized for propelling ships, milling grain, and pumping water. Today, wind power stands out as a promising alternative to fossil fuels due to its renewable nature, widespread availability, and environmentally friendly attributes, with no greenhouse gas emissions generated during operation. While large wind power plants are commonly employed to deliver cost effective clean energy, the special constraints in urban and suburban areas pose challenges for their installation. A viable alternative in such limited spaces is the adaptation of building integrated wind energy systems, offering a practical solution for incorporating wind power into urban environments while addressing the constraints associated with expansive land requirements for large scale wind plants. Urban wind energy consists of the utilization of wind energy technology in applications to the urban and suburban built environment. The integration of both vertical axis wind turbines and horizontal axis wind turbines in smart city infrastructure represent a multifaceted approach to harnessing wind energy efficiently. Vertical axis wind turbines, with their compact and versatile design, can be strategically deployed in urban settings where wind direction is variable, making them well suited for smart cities. Additionally, horizontal axis wind turbines, commonly seen in large-scale wind farms, can also find application in urban areas with adequate space, contributing to the overall renewable energy mix. Smart city technologies play a pivotal role in optimizing the performance of these wind turbines. Advanced sensors, data analytics, and machine learning algorithm can be employed to monitor real-time wind patterns, adjust turbine orientation for maximum efficiency, and integrate wind energy into smart grids. The synergy between energy system and smart city infrastructure exemplifies a sustainable and technologically advanced approach to urban energy needs, fostering cleaner and more resilient cities. Now let's come to the summary. Utilizing small-scale and rooftop solar energy along with wind energy in urban areas presents a pivotal pathways to achieving sustainable development goals, SDGs 7 and 13. By harnessing solar power throughout rooftop installations, cities can enhance access to affordable clean energy, SDG 7, reducing dependence on conventional grid systems and fossil fuels. Simultaneously, integrating small-scale wind energy solutions, such as rooftop turbines, contributes to diversification of the energy mix, promoting resilience and sustainability. These decentralized approaches align with SDG 7's aim to ensure universal access to reliable and sustainable energy sources. Moreover, the adaptation of solar and wind technologies mitigates greenhouse gas emissions, aligning with the urgent call to combat climate change as articulated in SDG 13. The localized nature of these renewable sources empowers urban communities, fostering energy independence, reducing environmental impact, and advancing the global agenda for a more sustainable and climate resilient future. Thanks so much for your attention. For more information, you can send me email. Finally, I would like to invite all of you to our two international conference. This will be organized very soon. The first one is Third International Conference on Water Problems in Mediterranean Countries. The second conference, this will be parallel, Sixth International Conference on Natural Resources and Sustainable Environmental Management. Thank you so much again.
I would like to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Professor Dr. Wahed Noorani. Professor Wahed Noorani received his BSc and MSc degree in civil engineering from University of Tabriz, Iran in 1998 and 2000, respectively. He then continued his graduate study in civil engineering, civil and environmental engineering in the field of hydrology at Shiraz University, Iran, and Tohoku University, Japan. He graduated in 2005. Professor Noorani served as the faculty of Professor Noorani served at the Faculty of Civil Engineering, University of Tabriz, as an assistant professor from 2005 to 2009, as an associate professor from 2009 to 2014, as a professor from 2014, and with the Department of Civil Engineering, University of Manitoba, USA, at 2011. As visiting associate professor and adjunct professor at University of Near East from 2017. His research interests include runoff modeling, artificial intelligence application to water resources engineering, hydroinformatics, and conceptual hydraulics. Currently, he is the editor-in-chief for the Journal of Civil Engineering, University of Tabriz, associate editor for the Journal of Hydrology, and director of Center of Excellence in Hydroinformatics at Tabriz University.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm going to present my lecture, which is about assessment of parameter uncertainty, impact, and reliability of water distribution network. I'm Professor Wahed Noorani from University of Tabriz. This is the outline of my presentation. First, a brief introduction. In order to have a green environment, it is necessary that we have smart cities. And in any smart city, smart water and water distribution network that is act as a smart infrastructure are very important components to have suitable drinking water distribution within the city. And in this case, reliable modeling and management are definitely important tasks. The reliability of water distribution networks is usually simulated by deterministic models, but we know due to some uncertainty included in the data or in the parameter, maybe in the real world, it is better that we use stochastic. And it is necessary we consider the uncertainty involved in the data. In this study, the hydraulic and quality performance of water distribution networks have been investigated by considering the uncertainty of effective physical parameters for both quality and quantity of the network. Here you can see some of the previously performed research about the uncertainty analysis of water distribution network. As you can see, most of them applied Monte Carlo fuzzy modeling. Our proposed methodology includes different steps in order to evaluate water distribution network performance in both quality and quantity points of view. First, we check out the dominant parameters. We use Monte Carlo simulation considering Gaussian distribution. We link MATLAB and EPANET together. In the MATLAB, we did Monte Carlo simulation analysis, but on the other hand, in the EPANET, we did wave water distribution network analysis, and actually it was needed to link these two together in order to uncertainty analyzing and reliability analyzing of hydraulic and quality characteristics. For the hydraulic reliability analysis, we consider NPR, network pressure reliability index, but on the other hand, we consider network chlorine reliability index in order to check the performance of the network according to the quality of the process. We consider that the uncertainty are involved in the Heise-Williams coefficient, pipe diameter, nodal demand for the hydraulic reliability analysis. But in addition, for the quality reliability analysis, in addition to these hydraulic parameters, we consider walk and bulk decay coefficient. You know, due to the aging of the pipe wall getting age, we may see change and alteration in the quality of the water in the water distribution network. For the uncertainty analysis, as I already said, we employed Monte Carlo simulation within the MATLAB. We applied the proposed methodology for a real-world data coming from Kaliber city in northwest of Iran. That city is going to get to be a smart city. I say that we link MATLAB and EPANET softwares in order to do the modeling. For the Monte Carlo simulation, as I said, we applied Gaussian or normal PDF for different involved parameters. For the hydraulic quality analysis, we consider Heise-Williams water demand and pipe diameter. These parameters are important in the hydraulic of the network, but for the chlorine network reliability analysis, in addition to the hydraulic, because for the quality, the hydraulic parameters are also important. In addition to the hydraulic parameters, wall decay and bulk decay constants also were considered to be included uncertainly and to be simulated by Monte Carlo simulation method. Here you can see the formula, the mathematical formula used for the network hydraulic analysis as well as chlorine distribution analysis. The three first are very commonly used method for the water distribution network analysis, but the last two are used for the chlorine distribution in pipes. And here you can see the formula that we use in order to assess hydraulic via NPRI and chlorine via NCRI index. Actually, NPRI, you can see, is changed according to the position of the pipe and type. And using this formula, we can compute it overall hydraulic performance of the network. Similarly, for the quality, we considered chlorine as the representative of the quality for the water, and again using this mathematical equation for different considering different value of the chlorine at different points at different time, we could compute it on CRI to evaluate the performance of the network. Here you can see the photo for the case study, Caliber City, and the water district network map and the characteristic of the network. Now, about results and discussion. We classified the network chlorine reliability index into 10 classes. NCRI larger than 0.5 considered as acceptable performance. Below that considered as unacceptable, but upper than 0.7 considered as ideal performance for the quality parameter of the network. Here you can see the probabilistic zoning of water quality performance of the first year. It's about 30 years ago. As you can see, all of the network perform acceptable performance, but only about 4% as ideal performance. And also you can see the performance at 2 different time in each day. You see, for example, at 3 o'clock in early morning, ideal performance happens mostly in the network. But after 50 years, you can see a change in the ideal performance. But fortunately, again, all networks perform acceptable. And after 30 years, and after aging the pipes and aging the networks in one hand, as well as more demand due to the increase of the population on the other hand, you can see that the performance of the network decreased. Acceptable performance decreased to be about 83. And now we have about 70% of the network to be unacceptable in water quality point of view, and definitely the ideal performance again go down, so something constant actually. Here you can see the compression for base year after 50 years and after 30 years, we can say recently. You can see the change in the acceptable level, and according to the data, acceptable level goes on to 80 years of the age, but started from 80 years of the age for the network, we can see the decrease in the water quality performance of distribution network. To come to the Final conclusion, we can say in general that for the Calabar water distribution network, water quality performance based on network chloride reliability index is decreased from the base year until 30 year, until recently. But hydraulic performance, as you can see in this figure, based on NPRI, shows increase up to 80 or 90 years. Here you can see up to here, we can see increase in the NPRI. Thereafter, however, the NPRI values and their corresponding likelihood tend to decline. Water distribution network is designed for the end of the planning course, According to the planning horizon population, we design a network. Low demand in the first years cause undesirably high pressure, resulting in lower NPRI. This is why in the base period, we had a low NPRI performance with regard to next years. Whereas at the last years, due to the network aging and increase of demand and pipe blockage, the hydraulic performance has been decreased. This is the interpretation, and this is the discussion about the uptime result, that why NCRI going down, but NPRI first have increasing and then have decreasing trend. For future study, it is suggested to use other uncertainty analyzers, for example, fuzzy-based or fuzzy Monte Carlo hybrid analyzers, as well as considering the uncertainty in other parameters. Here in this study, we only consider uncertainty in 3 hydraulic parameters as well as 2 quality-based parameters. But it is suggested in the future study we consider uncertainty to be involved in other hydraulic parameters. We already published the outcome of this study in Urban Water Journal, which is a prestigious journal in this field. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite our next speaker. Dr. Sameh Ahmed Kantoush is currently an associate professor at the Disaster Prevention Research Institute, Quito University. His research interests span the fundamental of shallow flow and sediment transport, wadi flash flood, sustainable in reservoirs, and transboundary rivers. His joint research with the laboratory group is focused on ecohydraulics, dam impacts, and sediment management techniques. Dr. Kantoush is collaboratively leading research on the development of monitoring techniques such as large-scale practical image velocimetry and image techniques, turbidity, sediment deposition, thickness, and sediment transport rate for experimental and prototype investigations. He is a member of Japan Society of Civil Engineers and Syndicate of Engineers in Egypt. His industrial expertise is predominantly related to infrastructure projects at multinational consulting firms in many countries. Dr. Kantoush lectures at Quito University in several domains including fluid mechanics, introduction of hydrology, natural disaster science, and conflict management in global water issues.
Hello everyone. It is Sameh Kantoush from Kyoto University. It is my pleasure today to present for you a paradigm shift for sediment management at river basin scale. As you know, Worldwide, there are various challenges with regards to sediment management due to climate change and increased number of flood peaks. For efficient sediment management at river basin scale, it is necessary to convince stakeholders to reinvest in recovering the original design of reservoir or extending the reservoir life. Today's presentation highlights the need for a paradigm shift in the dam, water, and sediment management on the river basin scale and shows how important it is to design effective sediment management strategy. As you can see from this interesting figure showing the challenges at river basin scale. In the river basin scale, there are multiple challenges affecting the river system as a consequence of anthropogenic effects due to hydraulic infrastructures. So, due to these hydraulic infrastructures, there are several impacts beside the effects of the interruption of flow and sediment, because most of coming inflow and sediment from upstream will have interruption and interruption of the continuity of this flow and sediment, and also some upstream river bed aggradation, which may cause flood risk in these areas. And also, this infrastructure may affect on the middle reach and the downstream of the dams by causing bank erosion and the coastal erosion in the delta as well. Moreover, increasing the saltwater intrusion and causing a problem for the downstream river ecosystems and also changing the downstream geomorphology. All of this may result in some problems for agricultural water intakes and also causing or dam operation will cause droughts and water shortage if some misoperation have been conducted. So many dams are malfunctioning with tens of thousands of sediments which already deposited in deep, middle, upstream tailwater parts of the reservoir, as you can see in this picture also. So many implemented or proposed sediment management techniques or sediment management to be implemented, and these are characterized by a lack of integration in the basin scale from catchment until the sea or estuaries. So how to achieve a regional sediment management considering the entire basin from the watershed to the sea and its environmental and reducing the impact on the environment and populations. So as you can see in this picture, there are several problem of reservoir sedimentation and the situation of dams and structures are different on each rivers and reservoir. But it's almost characterized by the delta formation, as you can see here, with fine sediment and the coarse sediment coming and depositing fine sediment in nearby the dam and the delta and more coarse in the upstream. So the effect of this formation or silt formation undermines reservoir sustainability because of reduction of storage capacity, and also undermines the dam safety due to clogging of intakes and water outlet, and also undermine the downstream impacts and some dam structured body where there are dam body has a semi-permanent life by upgrading and retrofitting. So all of this may cause loss of functionality and in the presence of adverse impact of climate change or extreme climate events and the natural disaster. So the current sediment management strategies, which is already implemented and they reported by ICOL Technical Committee, the traditional sediment management techniques to minimize siltation reservoir is achieved through three main strategies, as you can see in this table and this diagram: reducing sediment inflow from the catchment, or sediment routing, and also sediment removal after deposition, either by recover or reallocate reservoir volume. Most of these techniques are implemented in the single dam, doesn't consider the basin scale as we mentioned. So I will show the storage reservoir in Japan with the most common implemented sediment management techniques. This figure presents 900 Japanese reservoir and classifies the range of techniques that have been implemented as sediment flushing, sediment sluicing, sediment bypass tunnel, sediment replenishment. However, as you can see the map, there are several dams where there is no measures have been implemented. So the map really shows the extent of unsustainable nature of the dam and the sediment management. Among the implemented sediment management techniques, as we can see, there are many. Sediment replenishment is the most dominant technique to recover reservoir function and restore the river ecosystem in the Japanese rivers, as you can see in this. Okay, this is a really very interesting slide. Shows the reservoir sedimentation design in the Japanese reservoirs. So a traditional common design concept of reservoir is to provide a dead storage space for sediment deposition. And in Japanese dam, they allocated the necessary volume for reservoir sedimentation around 100 years period. So this concept of dead storage and allocated necessarily sediment space to be deposited, it's really a kind of poor concept. As you can see, the delta is progressing and formation and siltation is prevalent in the active storage as well from the early stage of the dam construction. So such dead storage space for sediment is actually stagnant water storage with less deposition comparing to the active space deposition. So in Japan, we have more than 2,730 dams, more than 100, larger than 15 meter high, with 23 billion cubic meter capacity. So, as you know, Japan poses suitable long-term data and legal directive concerning the sediment capacity siltation, which serves as a valid guide to check whether over the past 100 years, engineers, planners, and managers were capable of judging the sediment input correctly. They were able to correctly calculate how much the sediment coming. This figure, we analyzed these most of large dams with more than 1 million cubic meter, and we found that almost in this diagram, almost there is no reservoir constructed during the World War II period, and this period almost there is no reservoir. So pre this war period, no sediment management was considered. However, after the war, many dams have been constructed and sediment management is intensively considered in several Japanese dams. However, please understand, this shows the inauguration year of the dam, and here this is the ratio between sediment, or ratio between dead storage volume, the ratio between sediment, deposited sediment over the dead storage volume. So this line shows the dam that has reached to 30% of dead storage, 100% of dead storage, or more than 200% of the dead storage, or 1800. Okay, so this sedimentation in relation to the reservoir volume. So we can see that in the rapid decline and the subsequent rise in the dead storage siltation is observed. You can see some of the dams have been reached to the dead storage in a very short time, almost less than 40 years, have been silted up. However, after implementation of the sediment management and they impose some law, the dead storage volume on average is supposed to reach to capacity of to reach the capacity after 52 years. So this finding show even implemented sediment management, still several dams have reached to the 100% of dead storage volume or more than 200% of dead volume. So we evaluated these structures, and we found that over sedimentation or sedimentation beyond the schedule already exists, and engineers, practitioners, they couldn't calculate correctly such sediment deposition coming to the, or sediment inflow to the reservoir. So what are the situation of the Japanese reservoir? The fact that the dead storage volume is comparatively small in relation to the rest of the reservoir, as shown on the left figure. You can see this size category and small, medium, large, very large. And here there's a share of dead storage versus total volume. So we can see the median of this dead storage to the total volume. The dead storage is almost 12% in the small reservoir or small category. Medium category is around 11.35, 11 or 8. So the dead storage volume is really comparatively small in relation to the rest of the reservoir. According to our analysis, the dead storage capacity for existing dam is likely to be consumed after 51 years of the operation. This finding is quite alarming. The majority of large and very large dams will soon reach 100% capacity of dead storage, whilst the medium and small dams will likely do so within the next 5 to 10 years. As Japan is a pioneer in the sediment management, we can assume that the effect is stronger throughout the rest of the world, which implies that the global sustainability of reservoir is not guaranteed. Okay, so this slide is the most important slide to show that managing the sediment dams through adding new value. By adding new value to existing dams, such as flood control and disaster risk reduction, rehabilitation, upgrading, and retrofitting activities has to be implemented. And there are various proposed methods to manage the dam and sediment in the basin scale as categorized in this figure. You can see several categories. And some of these methods to support dam upgrading, retrofitting, and this will include improving of hydropower function, improving or increasing the capacity of reservoir, increasing dam height, exchanging reservoir storage function among other groups by networking with the dams existing in the same basin, modifying reservoir operation rules. All of this can achieve the sustainability goal. I will try to present some examples for recovering dam functionality in Mimi River. Recently, the Japanese government, this is the Mimi River Basin, and there are several 7 dams in this basin. And the Japanese government Ministry of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism has released the new policy initiative about vision for upgrading under dam operation, which will enhance comprehensive upgrading of existing dams for sustainable development based on limited water storage capacity, effective maintenance, and the new investment are needed not only to sustain the facility but also to upgrade existing functions from various aspects such as adaptation for future climate change effects by both optimizing dam operation and increasing storage capacity of river environment. So 2 out of these 7 dams completed on the Mimi River have been upgraded. As you can see in this picture, this is photo montage after. So the upgraded upgraded dams under integrated basin management in Mimi River. So here are the characteristics of these 7 dams. So this is the retrofitting of Yamasubaru Dam, and another is Saigo Dam, and also Oishibaru Dam. So this picture or this figure shows the Yamasubaru Dam before and after, where the 2 central spillway have been, this is Saigo Dam, 2 central spillway gates of Yamasubaru Dam were removed by cutting down the spillway crest height about 9.3 meter and installing a single large spillway gate. The 4 spillway of Saigo, sorry, this is the Yamasubaru, and the Saigo Dam, this have been removed the 4 spillway and installed 1 large large gate were cutted almost 4.3 meter. So the slowest sediment flux with a partial removal of the dam spillway is really an important operation to secure the sediment release to the downstream. This show the effects of sediment sluicing for from the upstream in Yamasabaru Dam until the Oichibaru Dam in the downstream, almost 58 kilometer or more. So these three dams were covered in this study reach as well. So the conducted assessment on the simulation to assess the sediment budget from inflow and the release sediment, how much coming, how much depositing, how much releasing, and showing that there is increasing tendency of the sediment release and somehow increasing tendency in different time for different grain sizes. So the recovering dam functionality, and we try to make assessment of water after assessment of the bed change and the water movement in the downstream. So the first sluicing was conducted in September 2017 during the typhoon, and we could see that the sediment of 5,000 to 10,000 cubic meter was deposited just below the dam, and a new gravel bar was developed, and the main flow is coming, and some hyphoric flow from because of the gradient in the sandbar was able to see the movement of the water under the ground of the sandbar as well. So this is the distance from the bar head, and this is the discharge of main flow and hyphoric flow exchange, showing how the river ecosystem really improved in the downstream due to sluicing operation. Among other methodologies, sediment bypass tunnel can be considered to be one of the permanent sediment measure. So the sediment bypass tunnel also considered to have a relatively small impact on the environment downstream, because inflow discharge can pass through tunnels naturally during flood time. This is the picture from Asahi bypass tunnel, and how the sediment bypass tunnel is really functioning and enhancing the sediment continuity and the flow and sediment continuity to that. So as you can see, there is a rapid change of with the short time after sediment bypass operation in the bed change. We can see degraded pool dominant channel when sediment supply, then depth becomes shallower and increase the riffle and pool as well, number of riffle and pool. Also, we can see that not only the changing in the pool riffles and the water depth, but also changing in the bed material sizes as well. So the riffle increased and pool decreased, bed grain sizes become finer, and most of the change occurred within short period just after the operation of the sediment bypass tunnel. Then within 2 to 3 years, we could assess the geomorphological and the biological change occurred, and we could find that several species type have been assessed from how the difference from upstream and downstream, and we could see some species different from upstream, and number of species are very much recovered from in the downstream. So similar species already exist downstream of the sediment bypass tunnel and upstream bypass tunnel, and recovering the ecosystem. Also, the water quality, the turbidity in the downstream was very high in 1997. However, after the sediment bypass tunnel operation, this turbidity have been reduced, and the number of days where a turbid water have been also reduced as well, as you can see in this diagram. So this showed the downstream change by the sediment bypass tunnel, several pictures before bypass tunnel, after bypass tunnel in 2016, and 2 years later showing the bed was gradually filled by sand and gravel. Flow becomes, instead of narrow, it becomes wider and shallower and faster in a different reach in Kushibu Dam sediment bypass tunnel. This is showing the gravel bar formation developed in the downstream of Kushibu Dam after sediment bypass tunnel in July 2018, and turbidity reduced, and the exchange between main flow and the sandbar is already secured. So the gravel bar structure developed almost after 2 years of operation of sediment bypass tunnel, clear water with high euphoric flow comparing with main flow of the turbid water. This is another example for extending dam life by asset management. Asset management is a kind of optimal allocation of the scarce budget between the new arrangement of infrastructure and the rehabilitation of the existing infrastructure to maximize the value of the infrastructure and realize the maximum outcomes for the populations. So we propose to carry out such asset management of dam reservoir in Kizu River Basin collectively, because usually they operate most of these dams in a single dam or individual dam separately. So we can give the priority of sedimentation countermeasure, and the effective budget accomplishment can be expected to have a sustainable reservoir operation in the basin scale and recovering the reservoir, the current condition of reservoir for all 5 dams, these 5 dams. So originally these 5 dams have really severe sediment deposition in the reservoir, and it's very much progressed and faster than expected. So as you can see in this table, the several sediment countermeasure and what are the associated implementation costs, either initial cost and running cost for the 5 dam and Kizu River dam groups. One of the important things are dry excavation. It's performed. Sometimes it's suggested to perform dry excavation by shutting down the dam, one dam for 1 year at an interval of a specified number of years, completely emptying the reservoir and removing sediment by dry excavation. Therefore, to perform such a dry excavation, it is necessary to carry out a comparative study with other methods to determine whether or not it is an effective method, considering the loss of reservoir function caused by drawdown and the relationship and merits and the demerits of removing sediment by low-cost dry excavation. And we found that the cost of dry excavation includes, in addition to compensation for reduced power generation, and also the loss caused by drawdown, which is calculated treating the loss of the capacity itself is as the loss cost. So this diagram showed the coordinated dam group operation N+1 installed to back up the reservoir function, which will shut down due to the dry excavation, sediment management, or drawdown in the reservoir itself. So it should be considered in the how to compensate the water use loss also due to the dry excavation, and that dry excavation is performed very cheaply. However, many problems due to energy or electricity is stopped, and water supply has been stopped also. But however, we have to create some backing up water supply capacity to ensure such compensation through other dams if these dams are working in groups. So finally, this paper implies that planners and practitioners hazard the consequences of reservoir sedimentation. Either they really mean it or they don't mean it. And to add a new value for dams and reservoir by solving sediment-related issue, clear and strong initiatives are needed to change the management concept. New concepts and methodologies should be conceived prior to design intergenerational, sustainable, self-supporting rehabilitation system for river basin with man-made reservoir. Retrofitting leads to reduced flood risk and improve river conditions and ecosystem. The key criteria in this are timing of implementation and suitable combination of sediment management strategy and combining different management strategy at the same time would recover reservoir functionality and extend.
I would like to invite our next speaker, Professor Dr. Ashkan Kiraz, graduate from Hacettepe University Faculty of Education, Department of Chemistry, Teaching. She completed her master's degree at Ankara University, Institute of Science and Technology, Department of Chemistry. In the same year, she started to work as a lecturer at Çanakkale 18 Mart University, Faculty of Education, Department of Primary Education, Science Education Department. She received training in the fields of preschool science education, primary education science education, environmental education. Both are locally and internationally. She completed her doctorate in the same year in same university in the Institute of Science, Department of Chemistry. In September 2008, she started to work as a lecturer in the Department of Educational Science at the Atatürk Faculty of Education at nearest university. She gives lectures at undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral levels as a professor and is also the head of the Department of Science, Education, and Environmental Education. She has supervised undergraduate, master's, and doctoral theses, published articles in international and national journals, presented paper at scientific meetings, and is working on projects.
Hello, dear participants. In this presentation, we will gain a comprehensive understanding of smart cities and sustainable development goals with a focus on education. In this context, we will touch upon the following topics in the presentation: smart cities and SDGs, how do smart cities support the SDGs, SDG and education, smart cities and education, advantages and opportunities, challenges and solutions. To begin with, let's try to remember the concept of smart city. Smart cities are cities equipped with advanced technology and data use, aiming to improve sustainability and quality of life. In this context, various technological solutions and smart infrastructures aim to make city life more effective and environmentally sustainable. On the other hand, to remember the SDG concept, the Sustainable Development Goals are a framework of 17 global goals set by the United Nations. These goals aim for sustainable development on key issues such as poverty, hunger, inequality, and climate change around the world. Smart cities have significant potential to achieve these goals. These are the Sustainable Development Goals, as you remember. So, why are smart cities and the SDGs so important? The answer to this question lies in its potential to provide effective solutions to the major challenges we face in today's world. Factors such as increasing population, urbanization, energy consumption, and limited natural resources reveal the need to make cities smarter, sustainable, and resilient. In this sense, smart city practices can both improve the quality of life of city residents and contribute to global sustainability by supporting the SDGs. Relationship between smart cities and SDG. Smart cities have the potential to support this SDGs. This is possible when smart technologies and data use contribute to the sustainability goals of cities. Here are examples of how smart cities can support specific SDGs. Smart transport and sustainable cities. This is SDG 11, sample project. A city can build a smart transportation system that analyzes traffic management and transportation data. This minimizes environmental impacts by reducing traffic congestion and offers city residents a more sustainable life by increasing transport access. Smart energy management, this is SDG 7, sample project. Cities can install smart grid systems that monitor and manage energy consumption. This contributes to sustainable energy goals by increasing energy efficiency. Intelligent building management, and this is SDG 12, sample project. Smart building technologies enable the construction of buildings that optimize energy use and improve waste management. This supports sustainable consumption by using resources more effectively. Smart agriculture and food security, this is SDG 2, sample project. Using agricultural sensors and smart irrigation systems, cities can produce their own food. This increases food security and ensures the sustainability of agriculture. Environmental monitoring and protection, this is SDG 13 and SDG 14, sample project. Cities equipped with smart sensors can monitor air quality and control environmental parameters. This plays an important role in combating climate change and protecting marine resources. Education and accessibility, this is SDG 4, sample project. Smart classrooms and online education platforms can increase access to education. This can be an important tool in achieving educational goals. Healthcare and innovation, this is SDG 3. Sample project, smart healthcare systems can improve healthcare by managing health data and using telemedicine applications. The Sustainable Development Goals consist of a set of goals set by the United Nations that aim for global sustainable development by 2030. One of these goals is related to education and is called SDG 4. Here are the main elements that explain the relationship between SDGs and education. SDG 4 aims to increase access to quality education around the world, expand educational opportunities, and promote lifelong learning. This goal aims to reduce inequalities in education, achieve gender equality, increase access to qualified teachers, and encourage educational institutions to comply with sustainability principles. Key points: access and participation. SDG 4 aims to reduce inequalities in access to education. It aims to increase access to education, especially in rural areas, low-income families, and girls. Improving equality. It's important to increase not only access to education, but also the quality of education. SDG 4 supports students to acquire basic skills and receive education in line with global standards. Gender equality. SDG 4 emphasizes gender equality and aims to reduce gender-based education inequalities by increasing access to education for girls. Teacher quality. Access to qualified teacher is emphasized as an essential element of quality education. SDG 4 aims to support teacher training and increase the number of teachers. Education for sustainable development. SDG 4 encourages educating students on sustainability issues and increasing awareness of the sustainable development goals. Lifelong learning. Continuing the education process throughout life and individuals' access to continuous learning opportunities are important elements of SDG 4. SDG 4 aims to address key challenges in education and build a globally sustainable society. Achieving this goal requires a global effort to strengthen education systems and reduce educational inequalities. The relationship between smart cities and education includes many aspects, such as how technology improves life, increases access to education, and enriches learning experiences. Here are the main topics explaining the potential effects of smart cities in the field of education. Smart education technologies. Smart cities can provide students with interactive educational experiences by equipping classroom and learning environments with technology. Smart boards, tablets, and other digital tools can enable students to learn more effectively. Education infrastructure and transportation. Smart city infrastructure can enable students to reach their schools safely and quickly. Smart traffic management, students' transportation systems, and safe pedestrian crossing can make transportation more effective. Accessibility and reducing the digital divide. Smart cities can reduce the digital divide by increasing access to educational resources. Inclusive technologies and broader access to digital resources can balance educational opportunities across different socioeconomic groups. Use of training data. Smart cities can collect and analyze education-related data to evaluate student performance. This data can be used to better tailor educational programs and monitor students' achievements. Smart campuses and buildings. Universities and schools can benefit from the benefits of smart buildings and campuses. This includes issues such as energy management, security system, and optimizing resource use. Educational management and administration. Smart city technologies can facilitate the management of educational institutions. digital registration systems, student information systems, and management software can help educational institutions operate more efficiently. Interactive urbanization and social participation. Smart cities can encourage community members to participate in educational matters. Social participation and urbanization projects can make education a community issue. These elements show how smart city technologies can make an impact in the field of education. However, for the successful implementation of these technologies, it is important to consider issues such as security, privacy, and inequality. Solving these points can enable smart cities to use their potential in education more effectively. Advantages and opportunities. Smart SDG education practices in cities. Integration of smart city practices with SDG-focused education practices can contribute to sustainable development at the global level by supporting a sustainable, equitable education system. Some examples for advantages and opportunities are accessible education. Advantage, smart city technologies provide students with access from anywhere at any time. Opportunity, digital learning platforms and distance learning offer students the opportunity to study without traditional limitations. This can reduce educational inequalities by expanding educational access. Personalized learning experience. Advantage, smart city apps provide personalized educational experiences tailored to students' individual needs and learning styles. Opportunity, smart learning platforms can provide students with customized learning paths by tracking and analyze students' progress. This allows students to learn more effectively. Global consciousness and multiculturalism. Advantage, smart cities offer students greater exposure to global issues and different cultures. Opportunity, technologies used in education and online communication give students the chance to learn about global issues and understand different cultures. This can contribute to the SDG targets of developing global citizens. Sustainable education infrastructure. Advantage, smart city infrastructure can increase the energy efficiency of educational institutions and support sustainable resource management. Opportunity, smart buildings, energy management systems, and environmentally friendly technologies allow educational institutions to reduce their environmental impacts. Improvements in education management and administrations. Advantage, smart city technologies enable educational institutions to manage and administer more effectively. Opportunity, digital registration systems, students' information systems, and data analysis tools enables educational institutions to use their resources more effectively. This ensures sustainable education management. Community participation and education supports. Advantage, smart city practices support more active participation of community members in education. Opportunity, digital engagement tools allow parents to track students' progress and become more involved in educational progresses. Community-centered education supports provide a more inclusive approach to education. Challenges and solutions. Smart SDG education goals in cities. To achieve SDG education goals in smart cities, solutions to the challenges must be actively created and implemented. These solutions will support a sustainable, inclusive transformation in education. Some examples for challenges and solutions are Digital divide and access challenges. Challenge: providing equal access to digital education tools can be difficult for low-income families and students in rural areas. Solution: infrastructure investments should be made to increase access to digital education, and programs should be developed to provide access to affordable devices. Privacy and security concerns. Challenge: concerns may arise regarding the security and privacy of student data. Solution: it is important to ensure that students' data is protected by establishing strict data security protocols. Increasing inequalities in education. Challenge: educational inequalities may arise for students who do not have access to technology or have difficulty adapting to it. Solution: students should be supported with digital skills programs and technology-supported educational materials. Additionally, training teachers in technology integration can reduce inequalities. Infrastructure challenges of educational institutions. Challenge: educational institutions must undertake infrastructure updates and training procurement to adapt to smart technologies. Solution: financing can be provided through public-private sector partnerships. Educational institutions can receive support for smart building and infrastructure designs. Inadequacy of student-focused education. Challenge: teachers and education administrators are not adequately prepared for the effective use of smart technologies. Solution: continuous professional development programs and technology integration courses should be organized for educators. Additionally, common platforms should be created to enable teachers to share their experiences and learn from each other. Financing and sustainability. Challenge: uncertainty about the financing and sustainability of smart education projects. Solution: financing sources can be diversified by establishing public-private partnerships. As a final say, the links between smart city practices and the sustainable development goals are of great importance for future urban planning and sustainability. Smart cities have the potential to increase environmental, economic, and social sustainability through the use of technology and data. Smart city practices such as smart transportation systems, energy management, healthcare innovation, and social inclusion support the SDGs, enabling by the construction of more equitable, environmentally friendly, and sustainable cities. However, achieving this transformation can face challenges. Issues such as data security, infrastructure costs, community engagement, and the digital divide can threaten the success of smart city practices and SDG targets. However, these challenges can be overcome with solutions such as transparency, ethical standards, inclusive policies, and strong collaborations. I would like to share a quote from the Prime Minister of India. The concept of smart city is not just about being technologically advanced, but also about being sustainable, inclusive, and citizen-centric. Some references and websites, and I would like to thank you for your participation.
I would like to invite our next speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Mustafa Allas, complete his doctoral studies at the nearest university with the thesis titled The Performance Characteristic of Polymer Nanocomposite Modified Binders and Asphalt Mixtures and receive his doctorate. He attended Tan Hussein On University, Malaysia, during his doctoral thesis research. He was awarded the Young Research Award in 2021 and become an assistant professor in 2022. He speaks advanced English and has national and international publication and studies in his field. He is a member of the Union of Chambers of Turkish Cypriot Engineers and uh, Architects. In addition to being a faculty member at nearest university, he is currently serves as a deputy dean of the Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering and is a member of the Ethics Committee of the Graduate Education Institute. Traffic and Transportation Engineering and Road Superstructure Materials are among his research areas.
Hello, colleagues. My name is Mustafa Alas. I'm a lecturer at the Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering in Niyazi University. My specialty research area is payment engineering and management. Since today's discussion is on smart cities and sustainable development goals, I will be linking my latest payment engineering related research to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and I hope it will be useful information to the audience who are watching this webinar. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to organizers, particularly to Professor Dr. Hüseyin Gökçekuş for inviting me in this prestigious event. In my presentation, I will talk to you about new methods for bridging the gap in payment condition evaluation. My presentation will mainly focus on the latest innovations and developments in payment condition data collection methods. Here, you can see the outline of my presentation. First, I will give you an overall background information about payment management systems and also discuss its purpose and significance. Then, I will talk to you about the components of payment management systems and discuss the current payment condition evaluation techniques. Next, I will share with you the latest procedures involved in advanced level payment condition analysis. In here, I will focus mainly on a particular method called payment condition index. To calculate the payment condition index, one needs to understand the common payment distress types and evaluate their severity. This can be achieved by manual, automated, or semi-automated methods. Our discussion today will focus on the fully automated payment distress data collection and evaluation. For this reason, it is inevitable not to mention about artificial intelligence techniques for data collection and integration of collected data with the computational softwares and geographic information systems. At the end of my presentation, I will sum up the remarks and discuss about potential future research regarding the topic in hand. So, let's start with the purpose of payment management systems. The primary purpose of payment management systems is to ensure the effective and sustainable management of road payments. Payment management systems are tools and processes used by transportation agencies, municipalities, and other organizations responsible for managing road networks to efficiently plan, prioritize, and optimize maintenance, repair, and rehabilitation activities for their road infrastructure. Payment management systems play a crucial role in ensuring that road networks are maintained in a cost-effective and sustainable manner. For example, the graph on the right shows us if the right diagnosis and treatment is not conducted at the correct time, the later costs associated with the maintenance will be significantly higher. To be able to maintain payment assets in good condition with minimal cost, we surely need to understand the components of payment management systems as a whole. The components of payment management systems are data collection and inventory, payment condition assessment, developing performance models, prioritization and optimization, reporting and documentation, developing maintenance strategies, budgeting and funding, stakeholder communication, developing decision support systems, and performance monitoring. Because our time is short, I will be mainly focusing on the first 2 points, the data collection and payment condition evaluation in my presentation. Payment asset management is a challenging task. A number of researchers have approached this problem in different ways. To tackle the problem, we will attempt to utilize advanced level procedures which involve automated data collection by using video recordings, software calculations, and integration of software outcomes into geographic information systems, or for short GIS, for better visualization of the payment condition situation. GIS will not only provide a better visualization of the overall payment condition, but it can also aid in computing statistical analysis on a digital map where layer by layer entry is possible. The first step in the proposed method is the calculation of the Payment Condition Index, or PCI. PCI is a numerical index ranging from 0 for a failed payment to 100 for a payment in perfect condition. The calculation of PCI is based on the results of a visual condition survey in which distress type, severity, and quantity are identified. PCI cannot measure structural capacity, nor does it provide direct measurement of skid resistance or roughness. However, it provides an objective and rational basis for determining maintenance and repair needs and priorities. In any payment condition evaluation, calculation of PCI involves distress identification, quantification of distress number and severity, finding the penalty scores, also known as the deduct values, and subtracting the total deduct values from 1 to find the PCI score for the payment section. Although these procedures can be done manually, generally computer softwares such as MicroPaper are used to easily compute the PCI scores. According to ESTM D6433, there are typically 19 different distresses types that commonly occur in asphalt pavement concrete. Once these defects are identified, such as longitudinal crack, transverse crack, alligator crack, and etc., they're filled in the ASTM form as shown on the right for further calculation of the PCI score. Data collection can be conducted in two different ways, by using manual surveys and by using automated surveys. We can further divide automated surveys to semi-automated and fully automated surveys. Manual surveys are conducted by walking or traveling at slow speed and noting the existing surface distress. Manual surveys may be limited to selected segments or span the entire roadway length. Automated surveys typically incorporate the use of vans fitted with equipment, for example, lasers, high-speed cameras, and computers, specifically designed for collecting pavement and roadway features. After collecting the required information, data interpretation can be done by using the following steps: image processing and labeling, image segmentation, feature extraction, crack classification, model training, and evaluation. To summarize the procedures that we are proposing to implement for payment condition evaluation, firstly, the images are collected by using Google Maps Street View. Using the dataset obtained from the Google Maps Street images, a convolutional neural network-based artificial intelligence research technique will be implemented to automatically detect and quantify the pavement surface defects. After that, PCI calculations will be conducted by using the MicroPaper software, and later the software outcomes will be integrated into GIS for better visualization and further statistical analysis. Okay, this is what we have proposed. However, what can be done is not limited. For example, real-time monitoring, automated maintenance scheduling, crowdsourcing and citizen engagement, integration with smart cities can all be considered for potential areas of research in the future. This will help expand the knowledge in academia and be useful for the community. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. This is the end of my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite our last speaker. Ferhat Bleri is currently pursuing a PhD in civil engineering from nearest university in the parent city. In 2022, he was selected as one of 22 fellows among 4,955 candidates in the Anand Fellowship for Climate Action at Anand National University. In 2021, he was awarded the first position in the ideation event held by the UNEP for climate change. In 2022, he was invited to the SESN Youth Program Local Pathway Fellowship as one of 100 young people from all over the world. Ferhat is an ambassador for Climate Interactive EN Roads. He was at the Stockholm Plus 50 conference at the Innovation of the United Nations and a representative of Alpha Zulu advocated. Recently, he was selected as country director and chief sustainability advocate for Turkey by Alpha Zulu advocating the UK. His areas of research interest include sustainable development, green campus and green management, systems thinking and system dynamics, climate change, water research management, and air pollution.
Hello, thank you so much. Yes, I go to my presentation. My presentation today is about the other presentation summary and the related SDGs. For this one, I want to share my screen. Yes. Yes, about this, about the webinar, it is about the smart cities and sustainable development goals, challenges, and opportunities. And mine is about the components of a smart city that discussed today and the related sustainable development goals. For this one, we have the smart city and sustainability. We know it starts from resources efficiency, renewable energy integration, waste management, until climate resilience, circular economy. But what discussed, for example, about the water management, water-related issues, and its related SDGs, which presented by Professor Dr. Nourani and Professor Dr. Kantush. This one is related directly to SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Target 6.1, ensure universal and equitable access to safe and affordable water. Proper water management is essential for providing access to clean water for all. Or target 6.3, improve water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating dumping, and minimizing the resilience of hazardous chemical and material into water bodies. Or target 6.4, increase water use efficiency and implement integrated water resources management to support sustainable development. And here we have the other related SDGs and targets. For example, in SDG 2, target 2.4. In SDG 3, we have the related target 3.3. SDG 9, target 9.4. SDG 11, target 11.5. SDG 12, target 12.4. SDG 13, target 13.1. SDG 14, target 14.1. SDG 15, target 15.1, SDG 16, target 16.6, and SDG 17, target 17.17. And also I don't explain them because it is too much. But about the other SDG, for example, renewable energy, which presented by Professor Dr. Gökçe Kuş and Dr. Kasım, is, as they mentioned, it is related directly to SDG 7 and SDG 13. In SDG 7, target 7.1 by 2030 ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. In target 7.2 by 2030 increase substantially the share of renewable energy into the global energy mix. Target 13, we have 13.2 integrated climate change measure into national policies, strategies, and planning. Target 13.3, improve education, awareness, resilience, awareness rating, and human and industrial capacity on climate change mitigation. And it's another indirect relation is about the SDG 9 and related target, SDG 11, SDG 12, SDG 15, and SDG 17. About the awareness, which presented by Professor Dr. Kiraz, it is related directly to SDG 4, quality education. That says in target 4.7 by 2030 ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyle. Human rights, gender equality, promote for a culture of peace and not violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. And the other indirect related is to SDG 5, SDG 13, SDG 16, and SDG 17. Also about the transportation and material, which presented by Dr. Alas, is about the SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, and it is related directly to target 11.2. By 2030, provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport system for all, improve road safety, notably by examining public transport with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situation, women, children, persons with disabilities, and other persons. And it is indirectly related to SDG 3, 7, 9, 13, and 17. Yes, thank you so much. This was the summary of which presented today and the related SDGs and how they are connected to the SDGs as mentioned in the webinar title, the Smart City and related SDGs and challenges and opportunities. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.